Hey ladies, welcome to this week's live video in the Real Food, Real Women Facebook group. I'm Hayden Smith and you've probably seen me at the farm store and some of the other videos. So I'm super excited to be talking today to you about why you're sick and you can't get better. Now, this is going to be kind of a heavy video. It may be the first time you've ever heard of something called leaky gut, or maybe it's something you've looked into in the past, but you're still a little confused about it. So don't worry if you get out of this video still feeling a little bit confused, because it's taken me many years to get where I am today. And so every time that you hear this stuff, it's going to sink in just a little bit more, and over time, you'll finally feel like, aha! I get it, I understand it. So bear with me here. This is going to be a super fun video. If you are suffering from depression, you've got millions of food allergies, you're wondering why your kids are sick even though they're just little kids, and you ate healthy and you don't know why your kids are having so many issues, or maybe you've got arthritis or super severe digestive issues, maybe you have a poor immune system, you're sick all the time, this video is going to finally give you some clarity. So stick with me here, it's going to be a good one. We're actually going to talk about how it's all related to something called leaky gut. And we're going to start with my story, which you've heard a million times from Mom. You know, she always talks about how she got into raw milk and farming and real food and all of this stuff because my brother and I had super severe eczema as kids. You've always heard her talk about it, but I'm going to take my turn and talk about it too and share with you how it's totally shaped my life and transformed my health and my appearance and my confidence and everything. Because starting at 6 years old, I had extremely severe eczema. I'm talking all over my face, and it was over my nose, my eyes, my everything. And in addition to that eczema, so I have to look at my computer here to make sure everything's working on the video. But in addition to the eczema, we were sick nonstop. Digestive problems, we had, lactose intolerance, so I can remember that in elementary school, Mom sent me a box of lactose pills, and so I would go to the office and take a pill with lunch every day, and just, things like that over time were getting worse and worse and worse. And by the time I was 12 years old, I was totally embarrassed to be walking around with my face looking like a disgusting mess, because the only thing that the doctors could do for me was give me some steroid cream. And if you've ever used that before or used steroids, you know how horrible they are. So we only had to use those in rare occasions when the flare-ups got really bad. And then at 12 years old, we found raw milk. And raw milk isn't a miracle food. You know by now that that's what finally helped us heal. And for the longest time, we thought it was magic, we thought it was a miracle, but we were just going to keep, stick with it because, of course, it was helping, so why quit? But my whole life, I have always wondered why. Why did raw milk heal me? And how did it do that, and why was I able to heal when some of my friends who were super sick were not able to heal? And why do people who are eating a supposedly healthy diet have all of these health issues that they have today? And so this has shaped every decision I've made in my life. All I want at the end of the day is for you to experience that same transformation that I did with food. Not medicine, because the medicine from the doctors doesn't work, and you know what it's like to go to a million different doctors and feel so frustrated that nobody can tell you what's wrong with you. So all I want to do at the end of the day is give somebody bone broth or raw milk or kefir or pastured eggs or lard and watch them come back to me and tell them how amazing it made them feel, because I can feel their excitement and transformation and hope, and that is exactly what I felt over 10 years ago now, and I'm just so excited to continue giving hope to everyone who walks in our farm store or who's in our Facebook group. And so that's why I studied micro and molecular biology in college, because I'm obsessed with figuring out why, and why I'm trying to become an expert in the human body. I could have gone on to study biotechnology or naturopathic medicine or something, but because I want to be able to help everybody heal. But at the end of the day, all I've got to do is tell someone to start drinking kefir and their acid reflux disappears. So I'm working on my master's in holistic nutrition. Currently, a lot of you have been always keep up with me in the farm store, ask how school's going, so it's going really well, and that's just reinforcing everything that I've learned and experienced over the past decade and how it is all related to something called leaky gut. Okay, my intro is over. Just got to double check that everything is working. Would love it if you comment below any questions you have. I'll make sure to get to them either live in the video or after when the replay is going. And so if you've never heard of leaky gut before, we're talking about our intestines. Sounds crazy, but you know, our skin, our brain, our joints, everything is connected to our gut and our intestines. Because if you think about it, everything that we take in the outside world is passing through our intestines. That means the foods we eat, the beverages we drink, the medicine we take, but even more so our stress and our exposure to chemicals in the environment. All of that is passing through our intestines. Now, what happens is I have some props here because I'm so visual, but the deal is our intestines are one cell layer thick. That's really important because we break down food and we're able to absorb all the nutrition from our food. But it's only one cell layer thick. That means it's kind of delicate. So when we're looking at our gut here, imagine this is a tube. It's our intestines. So pretty, right? So these are our intestines, and you can see that there's holes in our intestines. And when that happens, this is called leaky gut, when that happens, the food that we eat, the medicines that we're taking, the drinks, the sugar, the processed foods, the chemicals, all of that passes through the holes in our intestines and gets into our bloodstream. You can imagine what happens when, you know, a gluten particle, for example, passes through our intestines and gets in our blood. Our body is like, what the heck is gluten doing in our blood? They don't even know what that is because our body gluten should be broken down into tiny little itty bitty pieces for our body to digest. But when our gut is leaky, that whole big thing of gluten is passing through into our bloodstream. So our body goes on attack mode. And I'm not just picking on gluten here. That could be eggs, nuts, oils, I mean, so many different things. We have so many women coming into our farm store who have a long list of allergies and foods that they cannot eat. And this is why. It's because our body is freaking out when all of this bad food leaks out of our intestines into our bloodstream. And when those things leak into our bloodstream, they can be transported throughout our body. So and then that inflammation happens wherever our body that those things can leak to. So that's why you may feel exhausted or get lots of migraines and headaches or have brain fog. It's because it's all connected to our brain as well. Depression, ADHD. But it's the same thing with skin, acne, eczema, anything like that. Our skin is screaming. It's trying to tell us that there's something wrong. And it's because our gut is leaking and letting food pass through there. And so how did we get those holes in our gut in the first place? How did that happen? So, oops. I've got more props here. They fell. But, so, bear with me here. Imagine this is your gut. It's one cell layer thick. And in a normal, healthy gut, you know, we're eating food or something and it cannot pass through our gut. But when our gut is leaky, food passes straight through here. Should have tested this before the video, but the food can shoot right through our gut into our intestines. And so this is these holes are caused over time when we're exposed to a lot of stress and chemicals, chronic stress, that we create this stress in our lives, but those stress chemicals are going to break our intestines and poke holes through our intestines. The same thing happens when we're eating a lot of processed foods from the store. They're full of crazy chemicals and all sorts of stuff. All of that is going to poke holes in our intestines. Sugar. Sugar feeds something they're called, we have bacteria living in our gut here. They help us digest our food and everything. But when we eat a very sugary diet, a lot of processed foods, a lot of grains, very grain-heavy diet, that feeds bad bacteria, and those bad bacteria release tons of toxins, crazy amounts of toxins. It's called LPS, and that LPS is poking holes in your intestines. So our modern lifestyle and our American diet is causing this leaky gut, which is then causing all sorts of health problems that we see today. So let's, hopefully this is starting to make sense here. And now you're wondering, okay, that's great, but what the heck do I do to heal it? So what is happening in your gut is remember I talked about it's only one cell layer thick. So you've only got those single layer of cells protecting your body from everything that you're putting inside it. And now usually those single cells look like this. I'm so artistic. But see, it's a one single cell, and it's covered in these little hairs, and these little hairs help us digest and absorb all the nutrition from our food. And when we've got millions of these little cells, they form a nice thick wall that protects us from anything trying to leak through there. But when we eat bad foods and we have chronic stress, all those bad stress chemicals, they are going to harm our gut cells. They're actually going to take it from this nice healthy cell into this. See, there's this poor guy, there's holes poked through the cell. He's lost all of his microvilli, he's lost all of his hairs, he's not fuzzy anymore, he's damaged, and he's going to die. And when you have enough of those gut cells dying, then you're going to get those holes poking straight through your gut because all of those cells at once are dying. But we can bring them back to life. We can repair those, oh shoot, I'm getting so excited, I'm throwing stuff around. But we can take our gut cells from this to this. And the only way to do that is with food. You can't do it with a pill. There is no magic protein shake that's going to heal you. You've got to do it with food because our body needs real food in order to heal. It's the whole thing. Bethany, oh yes, I'm so glad you're here. You gotta run. Okay, yeah, catch the rest of this later because it's about to get good. But I'm so glad you were here for the first part of it. So how do we take an unhealthy cell and turn it into this? Our body needs a few things in order to do that. It needs healthy fats. It needs some specific types of amino acids, not in a pill. I'll talk about those later. And probiotics. Oh, and some good cholesterol too, because cholesterol is very healing, it's very anti-inflammatory. So healthy fats, good cholesterol, amino acids, and probiotics. Remember when I said that the bad bacteria that like to eat a lot of sugar and stuff can poke holes in our gut? We want to kill off the bad bacteria by eating good bacteria, and those are called the probiotics, and those will help heal these cells, because the probiotics release a lot of chemicals that help us heal. So anyways, what kind of foods can you get all of that stuff in? Bone broth. We talk about bone broth all the time, but for good reason. It's got a ton of healthy fats and these amino acids that you need. You get these amino acids from the breakdown of the collagen in the bones. And so you can't just take a pill full of these amino acids because your body can't do anything with it. It needs the whole bone broth that has all those healthy fats and all those vitamins and minerals and all the amino acids in order to work. So these amino acids are going to take this cell and make it healthy again. Also, healthy fats. We're talking coconut oil, lard, ghee or butter from grass-fed cows, things like you can get it from cod liver oil, things like that. Our cells are made up of fat. The cell walls are fat, that's it. mostly. And so if we're not getting enough fat in our diet, our body is starving and cannot heal. So these fats are really soothing and healing, and they're going to help these little cells get nice and healthy and hairy again. And good cholesterol. That might be surprising for everybody, but that's I could do a whole video on cholesterol. But we're talking good cholesterol found in foods, preferably from animals that are raised on grass, because they'll actually have good healthy cholesterol in them, and raised on pasture and grass-fed and all. But egg yolks are going to have great cholesterol. Cream, raw cream, has good cholesterol in it, and lots of other things. Meat, red meat, and chicken skin, all those things are going to have good cholesterol. And our cells are also made of cholesterol. This whole little membrane here is just fat and cholesterol for the most part. So you can imagine if our body is starving for fat and cholesterol, we don't have the energy that we need in order to heal. And lastly, probiotics. We need to get these probiotics from fermented foods, hands down. Probiotic pills, they do nothing compared to fermented foods. And they're crazy expensive. Again, that's a talk for another video. But the fermented foods I'm talking about are fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or kimchi, kombucha, and yogurt, and kefir. Kefir is the #1 most probiotic food that you can eat. When people come into our farm store, no matter what they're suffering from, whether it's behavioral problems in their children, chronic constipation, depression, rheumatoid arthritis, whatever, we say start drinking kefir, and a couple of weeks they come back and they tell us the most amazing health recovery stories, because the probiotics, the beneficial bacteria, are producing chemicals that our gut cells need to heal and get healthy and strong like this. So eating these foods gives our body the energy and the nutrition in order to heal. So you're not doomed to suffer from all of these health issues. And you can imagine if your children are having problems now, imagine what that's going to look like in another 20 or 30 years. They're not going to be able to get pregnant. They're going to have so many issues with digestion and their skin and health and how they feel. So starting as early as possible is going to be best. But don't worry if you're older and you're not doomed. You can heal so much, because you're going to seal up your intestines so none of this bad stuff can pass through and cause all this inflammation throughout your whole body. So, and that's why, bringing it back here, that's why the raw milk was able to help me heal in the first place. You don't need raw milk to heal. I just gave you a big list of foods that you can eat in order to heal. Raw milk was just the first thing that we had heard of over 10 years ago. We never knew what bone broth was or lard or any of that stuff. We just heard of raw milk and started drinking raw milk. But that milk is full of the good cholesterol, the healthy fats, the probiotics and amino acids and vitamins and minerals that my body needed in order to repair itself and heal and seal my leaky gut, so then my eczema was able to go away. So I finally figured it out, after a decade of searching for the answers and spending a lot of money on school and education and training, I finally figured it out. And I want each and every one of you to be inspired and encouraged to give real food a shot instead of trying to go from doctor to doctor, because all they're going to do is give you medications. And once they give you one medication, they're going to give you another medication to get rid of the side effects from that other medication they gave you. Modern medicine just treats the symptoms, the results. It does not stop the root cause of the problem. Everything that you're learning in this group and everything that we talk about is solving the root problem, the root cause of all of these health issues. So you can stop chasing after magic pills that are just going to clear up some symptoms, and instead get to the core of the problem by healing and sealing your gut. Okay, I'm super excited that we were able to do this video today, and I would love it if you commented below if you have any questions or any comments or any concerns about this. I would love to talk to you more about it. I'm also in the farm store on Mondays and Saturdays, so I chat about leaky gut like all day long. People were wondering, what does it take? I mean, I'm so sick, I don't know what to do first. And the very first thing that I tell people to do is just go home and make some bone broth. Just start drinking broth every day, because that's going to give your gut cells that little boost that they need in order to heal. Oh, and I have a surprise to tell everybody. I just got engaged Friday night, so I've been telling everyone who comes in the store. So it's been very exciting. Yes, Lori, kombucha does rock. I drink kombucha pretty much every day. I don't drink, soda, or it's exciting. I shouldn't, but my fiance owns a brewery, and so we would drink a lot of beer, and that still causes a lot of issues and does not make me feel good. But kombucha has been a really awesome replacement for beer, and they in the brewery that he owns, they serve kombucha on tap, and it's like their top seller, because people are so excited to have a non-alcoholic drink that still tastes kind of bubbly and fizzy, kind of like beer. So anyways, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. Just looking at my computer, making sure I got everything. Thanks, Shirley Ann. Congratulations. Yeah, Lori. No soda. Very little alcohol, totally. All right. There are no more questions, and I'm going to finish up the video. Have a fantastic week. You're going to see soon, we are releasing this amazing interview that we did with one of our customers. We interviewed her yesterday morning. Her name's Courtney, and she came to us several months ago, walked into the farm store, and she showed us a list of foods that she was allergic to. She had just done all the allergy tests, and over 85% of her diet was on that list, and she's like, I have no idea what to eat. So you're going to get that video, I think hopefully tomorrow, if I get the video edited, and you're going to hear her story. It is incredibly inspirational. I was in tears by the end of it because she has so much wisdom. So this was kind of like a precursor to that interview that you're going to get, because she talks a lot about how she's healed her gut by changing her diet and how all of her health issues have gone away or decreased, and she's continuing to work on that. So fantastic end of the video. I'm going to wrap this up, and I will be right here in the Facebook group along with Mom to answer any questions that you might have. Have a fantastic rest of your day.